Welcome back to FM Story. It's time to begin season 12 of this South American Glory Hunt save. We are still with Atletico Mineiro, and this season, unlike this last season, we do actually... It's finally time for our first game in the Copa do Brasil. We in the first leg against Vasco da Gama. Transfer-wise, not an awful lot in terms of outgoings. A lot of people go in at the end of the contracts and on loan deals. We did lose Araujo, who was our first choice left back, for 13 million to Sporting when they triggered his minimum fee release clause. Other than that, none of really any of the first team squad have gone. And then the incomings, we start with Lucas Caligari, right back, can play in defensive midfield, experience. We've brought him in for a bit of depth, not necessarily going to be starting every week. Then we lost our two attacking midfielders. They were both on loan last season, both went back to their parent clubs. So first of all, we brought in Lima from Gil Vicente to play in that number 10 role, or he can also play in a deeper midfield role if needed as well. And then as a replacement for some of the couple of the loan players that went last season, we've gone to Aston Villa and we've brought in Marco Aurelio, formerly of Santos. He's probably more likely going to play in that number 10 role for us, but he's started the season on fire. 4 goals from 4 in the Copa Libertadores, 11 goals from 11 in the state championship. And then with the Araujo deal, we had some more money to spend. So we brought in Misamar Silva, who's a young player who can play up front, can play in the number 10 role, more likely to play in that attacking midfield role, I think, rather than being up front with his finishing. But certainly a one that can develop at only 19 years old, can develop for the future. Good in the air, considering he's only 5'9" as well. And then with Araujo going, we needed another left back, so we've gone to Gimnasia in Argentina and brought in Santiago Garcia, 23-year-old left back. Looks a solid player that can hopefully help us improve as the season goes on. And so far, we've had a pretty good start to the season. We didn't start particularly well in the opening game against Ipatinga, but won 2-0. We then won our next game 8-0, followed by a 1-0 victory away at America, and a 3-1 victory at home against Democrata GV. It did take us till the last couple of minutes to get that win, with a couple of goals in injury time. We then drew 1-1 with Cruzeiro, conceding a late equaliser in that game, but then bounced back in the next few games with some big wins. 6-0 against Democrata SL, 5-0 with a hat-trick from Marco Aurelio against Tombense, and 10-0 against URT in the last game of the group stage, with Misamar Silva getting 4 on his debut and also missing a penalty as well, which meant we topped our group with 22 points from 8 games, 7 wins, and just that 1 draw against Cruzeiro. And that meant we played Villanova in the semi-final for the second year running. We beat them. And that meant we played Villanova in the semi-final for the second year running. We beat them 6-1 in the home leg, 3-0 in the away leg to go through comfortably 9-1 on aggregate. And then in the final, we played Cruzeiro. Last year, we beat them as the highest seed. This season, we beat them 1-0 in the away leg with a late-ish goal from Seferis, and then 2-0 in the home leg to win 3-0 on aggregate. And then the Copa Libertadores, we didn't have the best of starts. We lost 1-0 away from home against Newell's, but bounced back with a 6-0 victory at home against Cerro Porteño, and a 3-0 victory at home against Cesar Vallejo before we beat them 3-1 away from home. After just 4 games of the group stage, we've already qualified for the knockout stages, along with Newell's, who have won every game in the group so far. But now attention turns to the Copa do Brasil and this third round tie against Vasco da Gama. It's a pretty tough start. Right, so it's time for this second leg. We've made one change to the team that played the last game. Lima, we've started, but it's a bit of a risk with him and Aurelio behind Negredo. So they're playing a 4-4-2. We're playing the same formation that we ended most of the last season with. Not an awful lot happening in the opening 10 minutes of this game. In fact, very little happening in this game at all. They've already lost a player to injury. A corner for us, Aurelio to take it. It's headed clear at the far post. We've worked it out to Lucas Caligari on this right-hand side. He crosses to the back post. It's headed up in the air. And now they're going to bring it clear. Oh, except we won it back. Lima finds Aurelio. He uses the run of the defender, cuts in field, bends it into the corner, and puts us 1-0 up just after the half hour. So I thought they were going to break on us here, but the pass just runs astray. Lima just first time into Aurelio, just cuts inside, and then just bends it past the keeper. And Caligari with a corner to the near post. It's headed back to him. They've let him come in field. He squares it. Aurelio taps it in. And it's 2 quick-fire goals to put us 2-0 up. Caligari had all the time in the world once that corner comes back to him. So he bends it into the near post. It's headed straight back to him. And then they just let him bring the ball into the box. He then just squares it across the 6-yard box. Aurelio sticks a foot out, and that's 2-0. And there we are, half-time, 2-0 up. And hopefully we can continue this form in the second half. So we've made one change at half-time. Lima not fully fit, so he's come off, and Mismar Silva's come on. Felipao with a long goal kick. It's flicked on by Max Aurelio. It comes to Negredo. Finds the top corner. We've gone back to front. Bit route one there, but pretty decent goal. So the long ball from Felipao. Aurelio gets up, flicks it on. Silva into the path of Negredo, and he just bends it into that top corner where the keeper can't reach it. Right, a corner for them. Into the near post. It's free header, and it's off target. Right, a corner for us. Aurelio to the back post. It's headed clear, and now we're in big trouble. Trying to race back. And they've got there into the box. And we've conceded, and hopefully that's not a sign that we're about to crumble. We still have a 2-goal advantage, but they just broke from our corner, and we just couldn't get players back quick enough to deal with it. Right, free kick for us. Ferreiro to step up and take it. Short into the box. Santiago Garcia, the left back, free in the middle of the box. Fires past the keeper. And it's good vision to see that they weren't marking everyone. In fact, Garcia was well away from everyone. Takes a touch, puts it in the top corner, and that's 4-1. Right, so we made some more changes, just to get some more fresh legs on to see the rest of the game out. Seferis, who's one of them coming forward. Aurelio loses out. Garcia tidies up. Perez finds Seferis. Seferis again. Mateusao finds Silva. Goes from distance, but onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick. And there we go. Full time, 4-1. And a pretty strong position to go into the second leg with. Now it's time for the second leg of the Copa do Brasil against Vasco da Gama. Obviously, we've got that big advantage from the away leg. We played a couple of games since that game against Vasco da Gama. Things haven't gone particularly well. We drew 1-1 away at Internacional, and then we went away to Flamengo and lost 1-0 to see us start the league season with 1 point from 2 games. And then we played Newell's in the Copa Libertadores, a wild game that finished 4-3 for them. As we said, now we head into the game against Vasco da Gama. We've got almost a full squad available, just Lima doubtful with a bit of a knock. So here we go into the second leg of the game against Vasco da Gama. A 3-goal advantage from the away leg. One of our former players in Valentino Escudero, who we had at Vélez in the centre of defence for them. They've got Darwin Núñez up front as well. So they've gone 4-4-2 again. We've got the same formation. We've gone with Dimas, our right back now that he's fit. Mismar Silva starting in place of Lima, who's still not fully fit. Right, an early throw for them. In fact, for us, Garcia drives to the byline, low cross, goes all the way across the face of goal. And nothing comes of it at all. Now a throw for them in our half. Shifts it. A shot from the edge of the area, thankfully. Goes wide of the post. Right, a corner for them. Into the near post. Jadolson powers the header past Philippou. And that's 1-0. Not the start we were looking for. Right, throw in for us. Aurelio goes back to Pontes. Aurelio now coming down the left-hand side. Infield. Negredo back to Silva. Ferreiro wide to Dimas, steaming forward. Low cross. Pulled back to the edge of the area and Aurelio couldn't get his shot on target. Aurelio with a free kick for us. Lifted forward. It's headed up in the air. Still alive. Perez out to Garcia. And Perez to Silva. We've got loads of space on the right hand side if we can shift it. I think Pontes out to Dimas on the right. Silva back to Pontes. And Dimas again. Dimas again on the right. Down the line for a run from Misamar Silva. Pulls it back. It's shifted on. Landazuri fires home. Levels the game up on the night at 1-1. Restores the 3-goal advantage we had going into the second leg. And hopefully this calms us down a touch. But Silva does well. Pulls back to Ferreiro. He helps it on to Landazuri around about the penalty spot to lash it past the keeper. Right, they've got the ball in our half. In injury time. Wide up to the right. He drags Garcia and he's gone past him. And Solis scores at the near post almost immediately after we'd levelled it on the night to put them 2-1 up on the night and make it 5-3 on aggregate. He just sucked Garcia in and then played it in, and Solis had beaten Philippou at the near post. And there we are, half-time, 2-1 down. And despite the chances we created, we look very edgy, particularly at the back. And it looks like they're going to score every time they go forward. Right, we made a change at half-time. Ferreiro was struggling a bit, so we've taken him off and brought Ceferis on. Corner for them. And Jadolson again. Makes it 3-1 on the night, 5-4 on aggregate. And we are doing our best to throw this away. Having won the away leg 4-1, and we're heading the opposite way in this second leg. Right, there's about 20 minutes left. We've gone long with a goal kick that they've picked off. And now they're attacking down their left. We're not getting close to them. There's 2v1 on that right. Oh my god. They had a 2v1, slipped it past the defender, so he was in the box. And he fires past the keeper. Like, once this comes out to the right-hand side, no one shifts across. A simple pass. The central defender can't get across quick enough. And he whips it in off that far post. 4-1. And we need to make some changes. We need to do something, otherwise they're going to get another goal before the end of the game and knock us out. Right, Dimas with a throw for us. Cross to the back post. Landazuri's header lands on the roof of the net. If anything sums up our day, it's that. It looks like we might be heading for penalties here. They've gone slightly less attacking. And we're in injury time, a corner for them. I can only imagine this is going in. Thankfully, the header goes over the top, and that's full time. Penalties, and looking at the penalty takers we've got on the pitch, we are struggling. Our goalkeeper is our second best penalty taker. I think we're in trouble here. Right, first up for them, Darwin Núñez. We need Felipao to come up big. Núñez sends him the wrong way, and they go 1-0 up after their first penalty. Zaferis, who took a lot of penalties and scored a lot of penalties for us last season, is first up for us. The keeper goes the right way and saves it, and we're right up against it already. Felipao beaten by the second penalty. He's not had a particularly good game. His average rating isn't great, and we're going to need him to come up big. Garcia steps up and smashes it home to give us some hope, but we do need a save from Felipao. And Gates for them just drills it down the middle, and we're at a point where we can't really afford to miss now. Negredo steps up, centre forward, straight down the middle. The keeper stays where he is, and we just need to score one more penalty, and then that will be the end of our Copa do Brasil dream already. And we need a save from Felipao here. It's Fishbell with this. I mean, it was a weak penalty. And that is full time. And somehow, having won the first leg 4-1, we've gone out at the first stage of asking. And I don't know what we do from here. And there we are, at the end of the episode, and what a disastrous end to the episode that was. Having waited over a season to get a chance in the Copa do Brasil with Atletico Mineiro, having not been in the competition last season, we've somehow contrived to get ourselves out at the first stage of asking. Having won the away leg 4-1, we've somehow gone on and lost the home leg 4-1, and then just a dreadful penalty shootout sees us out. And ultimately, it's probably the end of our time at Atletico Mineiro. If another job comes up with either a side in Brazil that's still in the Copa do Brasil, or a side that's going to give us a chance of winning trophies in Uruguay or Colombia, I think we jump at it. But obviously that depends on the job becoming available. Join us next time to see if we're still with Atletico Mineiro. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.